Topological mesh bullseye pattern. Now, what this is supposed to be is an experiment in trying to produce a gradient distance based colorization of a mesh. Yeah, that's a mouthful, but let's just run it. How many topological units to run? Let's go 72. It's just going all over the hues in the rainbow and propagating them outwards from the vertex that you started with. Okay, so that was 72. Looks to me like if we went like 300, we'd probably be able to cover the entire mesh. If you put 0 in, I think more often than not it's going to cover the entire mesh because it runs a lot of iterations. If you put in 0, it's a magic number. So go ahead and press 0, and I don't know what to do here. We could talk. Gradient distance on a surface is the shortest distance from one point on the surface to, oh, not gradient distance, I'm sorry, I'm misspeaking. It's geodesic distance is what I'm really trying to learn about. Basically, what I got is a pretty poor attempt at geodesic distance, but I think because the mesh is very foamy, uniform triangle mesh, not equilateral triangles per se, but approximating, almost equilateral triangles. Very, very nice foamy triangle mesh. I'm hoping this is going to finish up before long so we don't have to keep yakking. I wonder if I can bring up here, I'll try and bring up geodesic distance mesh. Okay, here's some examples of images that are influenced by geodesic distance. So they're like contour lines, sort of, but not really. Based on distance, kind of like this one here. I wish I had this model. I suppose somebody could make that model for me. Be a nice one to have as a sample for performing various functions. So let me go back. Nope, the mesh isn't done yet. What else do we have for geodesic distance here? Zoom in on this one. Now this guy's got pretty tight banding on this particular image here. If we could zoom in on it a little bit and get anything else out of it. Be interesting to see this guy's actual mesh. Now, as I'm zooming in, Julian, you can see the shark's teeth, right? The more I zoom in, the more you can see the little aliasing on the color bands. This guy's probably done a blur just like I did. Let's go back to my bunny. Alright, so alright, the bunny is relatively complete here. Let's see, how many vertices do we have? We only have 100,000 vertices. So now we could take the bunny to my lots more menu. I'm getting in trouble because I'm running the hypercam. I'm going to blur the bunny. So let's go back to this screen here and look at this mesh. Zoom in on the face. So my thoughts were sort of wondering how you get rid of these jaggies here, right? I don't think there's any need to. I think you just blur the colors a little bit, and then one of the things that you might do next is move. You might want to deform the mesh procedurally based on the banding that you see. You might want to actually do surface displacement or displacement of normals in the actual mesh. Might be fun to do. This one apparently had multiple seed points, which you can do with the Manifold Lab if you want. You can do that. I haven't done much with that, but definitely can. Go back to the bunny and see if the bunny's done blurring. Well, it doesn't look like it's done blurring yet. What I'm trying to do is get a real good kind of academic description of how an algorithm would guarantee the best tracking kind of, I don't know what you call them, ISO lines, I don't know, these bands based on the distance. I'm almost saying, because I'm just doing it topologically, I'm not really measuring true distance at all. I'm just sort of inferring that it's going to be close because of the nature of my mesh being a foamy mesh. Alright, so come back to the bunny now. Now we've blurred it. Sorry that took so long. I should look at the blur code. Maybe figure out how to speed it up a bit. There you go. You got a banded bunny that approximates a geodesic distance function coloring. Down here it gets a little bit weird because the mesh was not as foamy down here. It wasn't as uniform, the foam. So this is not a good approximation on the bottom. I hope you enjoyed the show.